So you have a white woman that's going to address something that I've talked about many times before, and of course many others, is that when you get in a relationship with them, even if you decide to marry them and have kids, they have been taught vile anti-black racism, even though they married to you and have children. But let's go ahead and roll that.
If you're white and you're married to a black person married into your family, you recently had a mixed race grandbaby or a mixed race child, whatever. It's really important to understand that because we've been taught so much vile shit about black people, that just because you now have proximity to a black person or a mixed race person who's a member of your family who you love dearly, it doesn't mean that that automatically dissolved all of the biases and prejudices and really hateful things we've been taught about black people. Just because if I'm a white woman and I marry a black man and I have a mixed race daughter, just because she came out of my JJ and I love her dearly, doesn't mean I can't inflict harm based on all the things I've been taught up until that point. So please unlearn.
You know what I hear from this woman? That we're not capable of really loving black people like that, even if it's your own husband, even if it's your own child. We're not capable because we've been taught so much vile anti-black racism. We can't have no love for you like that. That's what this woman is saying. You know, they can say unlearn. You can't unlearn your culture because call it what it is. Anti-black racism is their culture. Because it's a culture, and the reason why I say it's a culture, when you're teaching little kids this and you making sure to teach them that, that's your culture. You don't pass on nothing to little kids that's not a culture. And much as you can call it racism, you can call it hatred, you can call it whatever, but that's their culture. White supremacy is their culture. And this is why I've always said that dealing with those women in particular as a black man, or even if you are a black woman dealing with those particular men, it's going to always end up being a problem. Because let's say the person that you're with is not that way at all. Let's just say that. But somebody in their family is. And we had done a video on this channel where you had a young white male says that in their family, every white person knows somebody who hate black folk. So if they all know somebody within their family who hate black folk, you gonna try to marry into that family? I'm just saying, you gonna try to do that. And why?
If you're white and you're married to a black person married into your family, you recently had a mixed race grandbaby or a mixed race child, whatever. It's really important to understand that because we've been taught so much vile shit about black people, that just because you now have proximity to a black person or a mixed race person who's a member of your family who you love dearly, it doesn't mean that that automatically dissolved all of the biases and prejudices and really hateful things we've been taught about black people. Just because if I'm a white woman and I marry a black man and I have a mixed race daughter, just because she came out of my JJ and I love her dearly, doesn't mean I can't inflict harm based on all the things I've been taught up until that point. So please unlearn.
And my thing is, it's the history that we have had with that particular group and the current history that we're having with that particular group. Notice when we talk about reparations, notice it's the majority of them who's against it. When you try to protest and speak up for justice, notice it's the majority of them that have an issue with you. So why do you think they gonna love you all of a sudden just because you married one of their sons or daughters? I've seen so many videos on TikTok of the offspring of a black person and a white person. And many of them have said their white mother or white father was straight up racist. And in most people's mind, you would think, how could you be racist? If you racist, you don't want a black man or woman touching you. And for surely you don't want no black child. But we still asking those questions. Because there'll be vile anti-black racists, but still want to sleep with a black person. But they don't look at black people as human either. So that's why they don't have no problem sleeping with a black person, because they don't view you in the right way. But I've always been a firm believer in this. Listen, with women in general, you can have an issue or a problem. This with women in general. Now, add all the bad blood in history with that particular group. No. I've always said, just even when I was out there dating, I say, if for some reason I don't marry a black woman, I say it would have to be a woman that has some sort of color. It couldn't be them. I've always said that, you know. I never in my life have I dated a white woman, never. And I couldn't. If it was between the choice between being by myself for the rest of my life and a white woman, I'd be by myself. Because no. And the way I talk and how I move, I mean, that just wouldn't even work well for me whatsoever. But y'all let me know what y'all think about what this woman is saying. She's just saying they're not capable of loving you like that. And that's fine. I have no issue and problem. Now, for some people, they may twist and turn, but I actually appreciate this lady's honesty.